Area Gymnastics here. This is the first week within the new month. Another phenomenal day. I'm getting so comfortable on the bar. It is still a very challenging task to complete. And now that I'm focusing on more technical factors such as catch the handstand, now I have to worry about having the strength to just hold my body weight up there and then to swing around the bar. The strength needed is intricate areas that aren't worked on in traditional working out, which is why I love gymnastics, because it touches on the physical body unlike anything else. Top tier, best athletic venture that any individual can partake in, and to be able to have fun on the bar is absolutely mind-blowing to me, because I get to have fun and work out where an abnormal amount of work otherwise would have had to been put in. Mind blown. Then we continue the conditioning, and I also had a good friend of mine working out with me, so it was always nice to have that motivation. We got onto the rope, we worked on abs, and then we worked on the shapes on the floor, and then working on some back tucks. Even Andrew hopping in the set with me with my back tucks. I am absolutely happy and proud of how confident the back tucks are coming, and even the handstand dive roll shape practice that I was working on, I can feel the control of getting into a handstand now, which is something I've never felt in my entire life. Just once a week for 2 hours a day. Hard work, dedication, and consistency can absolutely transform you over such a short period of time. Because if you really think about it, once a week for a little over a year, maybe potentially a year and a half, isn't that much time invested in the grand scheme of things. So pick up any hobby that you want to do right now. Don't let me go down this rant of self-improvement, because I'm too dire about this topic. So every Friday, 6:30 to 8:30, adult open gym here in Oldsmar, Florida, Bay Area Gymnastics. I'll see you here trying to improve yourself or just somewhere productive doing with your life on a Friday night. Let's go. Yes, sir.
Getting a YouTube.
Yo,
listen.
He put in work.
My boy is about to have fools. Probably standing fools within the next week and a half.
Hey, you hear the man. We working.
Crazy.
He came in and showed out. He said he knows how to get in the air. I said, oh, really?
They can see me if I flip right now?
Yeah, hey, show him what you got. Show him what you got. Hey, say, get in here too, bro. Show the people. Hey, we are here learning and maximizing this one life. Let's go. Even Say got in here getting some good work in. How did you feel about the workout that we did today?
My body's shot.
We worked today. I try to tell people gymnastics is top elite human being, and it's all fun and games until you get here to work out. All right, you guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you next week.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, baby. Okay, another week here, Bay Area Gymnastics complete. Today I focused on the conditioning aspect more than ever, because actually I went to the grass the other day, I believe 2 days ago, and worked on some round off, and I figured out how weak the fundamentals are because of the softer surfaces like the tumble track and the air track, which I did still get on to work on. However, we got on the bar. Flip actually helped me out with some spots on the bar, which helped tremendously, because you can't see certain aspects if you can't do them. You can't feel it if you can't get into the position by yourself. That's why a spot is so vital in a severe learning curve such as something like that. And I felt as though I could have even gotten up a little higher, but it was just a fear factor being strapped on to the bar and height wise. But it was still quite fascinating to see what it's supposed to feel like, which was to wait so much longer. I'm rushing it so much. I'm throwing my shoulders down, trying to catch my hips under my shoulders instead of allowing my hips to bring my shoulders back in. So a lot of nuances that you really don't think of, or you think you can muscle it, when you really just have to actually let the flow go on. Just like my tumbling, honestly, I realized that in the round off, my round off into my back handspring is just being rushed, and I'm being too tense and when I'm running into it, rather than kind of building into it slowly. And then the placement of my hands, my feet not being together. There's a lot of fundamentals that need to be worked on, which I'm working on. So that's why I'm really working on the conditioning aspect of it and the basics, and doing the Superman pose like I did at the end of class, and working on abs, because no matter how many reps you do, you're really not going to progress as much as you need if you don't understand the physics, the basics of what you're trying to do. And for how much work is being put in, I want to maximize the time spent. So shapes are most fundamental. Strength is definitely being gained from doing the work, and the confidence with my backflip. The backflip is also awesome doing them with flip. So nonetheless, good work regardless. When you put in work, doesn't matter how good or bad it is, as long as you're putting in work, that's all that matters. Now, can Rob capitalize on making it better? That's what we're working on. I'll see you guys next week. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, another phenomenal week here is completed Bay Area Gymnastics, Oldsmar, Florida, Adult Open Gym, 6:30 to 8:30. Today, we worked on one thing, cast the handstand, 4 different progressions. I thought I progressed throughout them all and tried to get to cast a handstand, but then surely realized that I got stuck at stage 2, so I eventually regressed. However, to see where I am within those progressions highlights how much more work needs to be done in a specific area, and instead of trying to utilize a select few amount of time, like 2 hours in the gymnastics gym, trying to do a lot of everything, a little bit of everything, try to focus all on a singular task, progress there, get good, and then work on the next, which was highlighted by a good friend of mine who also gave me the cues of today what to progress. So that is exactly what I did. And at the end, throughout the entire practice, working on those progressions, I got on the strap-on bar to work on the giants and having fun on the bar in general. And my hips got as high as they ever been, with the most confidence as well, which goes to show doing the progressions will get you where you should be. And where I got to comfortably was based upon where I was on the progression, which was mid-stage 2, which was a mid-stage 2 cast a handstand attempt. However, it is also nice to see how much fun it is to be on the bar and not have to be too exhausted to get off completely, but to be able to take breaks, like hanging upside down, and able to push myself to the state where I need to be to actually comprehend body functions optimally by being in certain states. So it's awesome to be able to showcase how much can get done in a select few amount of time. Thank you. I can't wait to see what I work on next week. Hopefully the cast handstand will come into fruition. See you next week. Okay, first things first, I need straps. I am getting more serious on the bars, and that means more strapless attempts, working on fundamentals, flipping around, working on dismounting, and several other movements that the bar requires. And it did help my grip tremendously not having the straps, being able to grip the bar directly. However, the pain, oh my God, the pain. Was it unbearable? I got through an entire practice and my hands didn't rip, so maybe it's not as bad as I'm making it seem. However, during, ouch, 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 how am I doing this? How am I doing this? How am I doing this? Nonetheless, I got some very good cues from a friend of mine who gave me the same cues last week to work on the basics. So I worked on high bar. And then actually I got some tips from an individual here today who got on bar himself and was doing phenomenal, who actually did gymnastics for 13 years. So it was cool to get some tips from him. It was holding certain shapes, which I had challenge holding, which is something that I already know I'm lacking a lot of strength. A lot of gymnastics is holding a shape, and my shapes in general aren't good. So not only am I not holding shape, even in the little bit of time I am holding shape, it isn't ideal to gymnastics. However, that's why I'm here, putting in the work. I did a couple of the stages on the high bar, and I did like one where it was a back hip circle and then almost a half to fly off. Would you stay on? I need to get better with the terminologies. We're working, baby steps. However, that was fun. I tried my best to do it on the high bar, but the pain from my hands and not being able to rotate my hands were so stuck on this position that it wasn't moving when I would go around the bar. So it was fun to actually get to the strap-on bar later in class to work on it, and I was able to do the movement. However, I wasn't able to push myself off, so when I allowed my feet to drop down, I was more coming down in a slow negative pull up rather than almost kicking out and then swinging back down. Now that I'm talking, I realized didn't take a side angle, so you may not even be able to see it from the angle that I got. However, it was fun nonetheless to play around on the bar like that. I am happy to be focused on whatever I'm trying to progress in at a time instead of spreading myself too thin around. So I'm going to start to pick up certain skills faster, ideally, so I can move on to other skills. Nonetheless, a lot of strength, a lot of time under tension still needs to be put in. That's why I'm here. And whatever journey you're trying to accomplish, you see just once a week putting in time and energy, progress can be made. Yes, having a coach amplifies it. However, something is better than nothing. You picking up and reading one page of a book is better than not picking up a book at all. So always reward yourself for the small steps you're taking. Thank you for spending your time here with me, attempting to progress in gymnastics. I'll see you next month to see how much progress I'm continuously making.